but you know who's here. Hank Zuber's here. Capital Kitchen. Let me hit this intro. This is an important podcast. If you haven't watched the last podcast on the Jordan Durham podcast, was it last year, Hank? Was it last year?
Last year.
Hank Zuber representing the Mississippi and Ocean Springs, the Gulf Coast, everything in Mississippi. We're gonna get in the story a little bit. I went to the Capitol for the first time. I'm extremely tired. I was trying to keep up with Hank the whole time, and I hope you guys I hope you guys enjoy the show. Love you guys. 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
If I may, Jordan, I'm getting old too, so I'm pretty tired myself after today.
All right, let's go into the original Capital Kitchen intro, guys. Thank you so much.
Guys, I'm working with. What the hell you?
Yeah.
It's the ones I want to sample.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, whips, and life insurance.
Oliver's Guide.
All for shots insurance.
The Jordan Durham Podcast. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining our new series. For the listeners, and I'm just going to speak on point. I'm going to let my stepdad, Scott Levenway, kick this off, but I want to share this with you guys for my fans, audience. I made a decision to be up here with my stepdad, his friends, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. It's getting me out of my comfort zone. I spoke on that a little bit. It was time for Jordan to leave the coast for a little bit because for me, we all know that I would just stay on Highway 90 on my golf cart in Ocean Springs. But this is something important that I want to bring to you with everything going on. It's time to educate. We're still going to have the fun podcast with friends, but during session, this is when all this stuff happens in Jackson. And it's important that we have these microphones and to get it out. The listeners that drive the Ingles every day, the people that work hard for Mississippi, and the people that left home and listen to this show. So without ado, I want my stepdad to introduce his buddy. So yeah, tune in.
All right. Welcome to the first inaugural show. Tonight we have Representative Hank Zuber. He represents District 113. He's Ocean Springs' biggest cheerleader and actually the football team too now. I've been seeing some ads on that lately. He is a world traveler, without compare. He's the last of the Mohegans and without and we're going to ask him how he got here, what happened here. Hopefully he won't tell the true story about the first time I tried to get him here and we didn't get here, but he'd have been here earlier otherwise. So here we go. Hello, Hank.
Well, Scott, Jordan, thank you for that introduction. You do need to explain why you call me the last of the Mohegans, if you don't mind. I don't get that one, but congratulations and on your first podcast from the Capitol. I love it, and I tell you why, because you're going to be able to give the people that are watching a behind the scenes look at what really goes on up in Jackson. And it's not as glamorous as what people think. We're in a hotel that was actually, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. That was actually raided by the Department of Justice and the FBI yesterday. And that was quite a scene. So it's always something. Again, congratulations. And it's truly an honor to be here with both of you. And to get back, if I may, to your introduction and what you were referring to about the advice that you gave me to your listening audience back home. After graduation, I was contemplating running for office, and I went to a dear family friend, Mr. Mike Strife, who is now a very, and even back then, was a local prominent banker. And I went up to Mike and I said, well, this is what I'm thinking about, and give me some advice, and what do you think I should do? And his advice, Jordan, and his response to me was see and go talk to this man right here. And I did, and the rest is history.
let's go. So, like I said, go back to the Hank Zuber podcast, and Hank's going to go all over the place. If there's really good information in his last podcast talking about his journey to Millsaps, his dad. If he didn't pay attention to his grades, he would be not on this journey.
I would be on a different planet.
So what I'm taking from this, and as a person, this was my first ever time in the Capitol, and I was able to cherish it on a map that my stepdad made me that will be probably merchandise. And thank you for that. It's going to be a piece of art. But I jumped into that Capitol, and I didn't know what to expect. I'll be honest with you, Hank, when you're saying so. I'd imagine you actually getting in it, back then. But I was blown away by how fast y'all move, how y'all hold all these bills, these conversations. At the end of the day, I mean, you always wonder what's the Capitol like, and there are always going to be debates and disagreements on stuff, but I'll tell you what, it's very classy on whether you're running and you're on your phone and you see one of your colleagues and I know y'all are talking about a certain bill and y'all are trying to do it as fast as y'all can, because guys, one thing people don't realize about the Capitol, they're doing this while the tourists are there. It's tough. We took stairs. There's elevators, but the elevators are getting crammed.
You gotta wait.
And shout out to you and Scott for that. Because I didn't know. And I'm not like through the rooms and everything. There's so much going on. It is like a city in one building. And shout out to everybody, everybody that's in the Capitol that go there and work. To the pages, to everybody. It is one of the things that was lighting me up was watching everybody just move.
It's not always like that. Not every day. A majority of the time it is, especially towards the end, Jordan. But today it was nonstop, as you experienced, from 10 a.m. through lunch till about 3:30 or 4 p.m. Literally nonstop. We had local officials that were coming up. We had very important bills that were coming up. My committee met this afternoon. I had to handle a bill in committee. So it was just, today was nonstop, but it was fun. I hope you had a good time.
My goal is to let people know that there's a lot of people that leave the coast or leave Vicksburg or Natchez or all around that, there's a lot of people that are not going to Washington like everybody thinks. Everybody thinks y'all are going to Washington. Everybody thinks they're going to Washington. It's incredible to see. I have so much more respect for being up here the last 3 weeks, the prep behind it, missing families, missing dinners with friends, missing your bed. Let me tell you something. You miss home's home. No matter where you live in the state of Mississippi, home is home. And it is. And we're talking about people and running on 2 hours of sleep because they're reading. They're trying to figure everything out. They're going to work. And when I say going to work, in my mind, I was thinking y'all are working about 2 hours a day. To be honest with you guys, 2 hours, 3 hours a day.
Well, that's sometimes, actual work, but there's always
prep.
Or somebody coming up or a constituent calling you, or you got to make a correction to a bill. You got to get ready for, a presentation. But it does get, slow. So you just saw a very, very fast-paced day.
So let me ask you the question, Hank, on this is, what were some of the secrets to keep you? Because I've been to the camp. You have a beautiful home, and it's friendly, and but it's friendly, and you got parents that are moving. You got a lot of stuff going on, and Scott, for you too. It's like you got mom, you got a family, it's just so much. How would y'all start developing to now we have FaceTime, but when y'all got involved, y'all didn't have FaceTime.
No, there was no social media. This was the year 2000. And it was a completely different time. But if I may, let me get back to today and what you personally experienced and what Scott knows.
You'll make me cry. That's why I'm trying to get away from it. I'm just with you.
Okay. No, I don't want you to cry. But the process is very, very open. The legislative process, it's not a big secret. A lot of people back home, just because it's 3 hours away, really, like you said, really don't know what we do up here. So that's why I'm just truly happy that you're doing this podcast from Jackson. But any citizen back home on the coast, and you have a personal invitation from me I'm not going to give out my cell phone over the podcast, but you have it. And if somebody calls in from back home, anywhere on the coast,
Feel free to reach out to me too if you want to. Messages.
Anywhere on the coast, not just in Ocean Springs, and would like to come up and be shown around and visit the Capitol, I consider that part of my job and my obligation. And don't hesitate to call me, and they can even sit in. If you have a concern about a specific issue, I can look it up, and you can attend the committee hearing that's actually pertaining to that issue. And we'll get you in, actually within the committee hearing. So, contrary to some people's opinion back home, it is extremely, extremely open. And I just want to make sure I stress that to the people back home.
Yeah, I think that part of maybe our major motivation in having this series up here during the session is to put a picture on that and let everybody see it and see what it's really like up here. Have variety of different kinds of people on the program, but to see what a day is like, what a month's like, what 3 months is like up here, and how it ends up resulting in the end product.
I came up here for 2 reasons, okay, and 2 reasons only. It's not a glamorous life up here, okay. You get to go out and you go have lunch and dinners and quite frankly, I get tired of dinners. It is not glamorous, but I came up here for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only, okay? Because I thought I could do a better job than my predecessor, number one. You remember me telling you that years ago? And number 2, to make a difference. And it's very satisfying to be in a position where you can make a difference for the future of Mississippi. I love Ocean Springs. I think we have the most beautiful town, not just in the state, but in the entire country. And I love our great state of Mississippi. And I'm telling you, and the people back home in Ocean Springs who look at my Facebook posts, the future of Mississippi is bright, bright, bright.
I will have to agree with you. And also on Scott's point, my stepdad is from Millsaps. His dad was a professor. So this is his home base. As much as he loves the coast, he's been the coast for a long time. And I think for me I'm with Hank on that. Look, Ocean Springs and all across the board, we're speaking for the whole our coast. It is a different world, but we are Mississippi, and from the whole state, that's why we're here. I think the biggest thing for me that I'd like to just talk a little bit on is, tech. That was something we talked last year about, and we see there's more development coming in, and that's something that I'm super proud of because I've always been a nerd with tech. I've always enjoyed it. And to see the state of Mississippi look at that and recognize that, and could you share a little bit of what's going on and a little bit coming up since the last time we talked last year?
Sure, I'll be happy to, Jordan. That's a very good question. Obviously, as you know, we have AWS present in Mississippi. We have Google here. We have Elon's new company. I can't remember the name of it, but
Gronk.
Well, that's the AI application, but anyways, he's building, he built XI, I believe, but a personal investment, okay, with absolutely no government money of $20 billion to manufacture a data center that will power the largest supercomputer in the world in DeSoto County. But getting back to your question, and last year, and I don't think a lot of people kind of know really what was accomplished in terms of tech, as you put it, but we passed the Center for Cloud Storage Excellence, okay, which puts us at the forefront in terms of implementing AI not just within state government, but all levels of government, city, municipalities, and counties, and along with state agencies. So we've got that passed. We got the foundation. Now we're moving the state agencies from each one of them having their own cybersecurity and cloud storage to public cloud. And we're going to hopefully bid that in the next couple of years, let the big players bid on it, Google, AWS, whoever. And that will be a game changer once we implement AI on the state level, move to public storage. and we're able to share information. We're able to, the cybersecurity will be better, the efficiency will be better, and it will be cheaper for the taxpayer. Now, I just remembered about something. You've got to remind me. Now, why did you introduce me as the last of the Mohican? Jordan, do you know why?
No.
Oh,
Go. Why?
I introduced him as the last of the Mohegans because he asked me to.
okay. There's something to that.
And like I said, and guys, Hank will be on throughout the series. He's really seen this movement, for a while now. And he was the first one to do a show. He was the first one to do the show last year, and I was honored to do it. I was my first. This was right after I lost my real dad, Scott Darrell. Shout out to him, but it was just weird. Like it's like this is a very for me. It's I never wanted to go. I never want to come up here, because I'm completely spoiled on the coast, and I love it, and I'll stay there. But it's just like I got a kid. Where's his future going? Oliver's homeschooled. I'm actually teaching him 3D modeling, but if we have to grow, whether we like it or not. It's happening, and I have to say that this is the right move. Now, a question I have to ask is, people have asked us, with all this power coming here, we're going to be working towards an energy infrastructures, like to power these big companies, data centers, stuff like that. Is that something that's been brought up?
It is. Entergy, Mississippi Power, they're expanding their capacity. No doubt about it. It's going to be needed. We have cheap energy. We have plenty of water and plenty of land, but we need to grow, but we need to grow in the right way. My focus the last 2 years, among numerous other things I'm working on, is to get higher paying jobs in Mississippi. We're doing a great job with job creation, especially within the manufacturing context. But we need those higher paying jobs. We need those software jobs. We need those coding jobs, which eventually I would think AI will take over. But we have got to get the higher paying jobs in addition to what's going on now. Because if you give people those higher paying jobs, Jordan and Scott, y'all both know this, that gives them more discretionary income. They can buy the insurance. They'll be able to spend money. There's less reliance on government, so on and so forth. So it's a big circle. And the key is higher income, higher paying jobs.
And you also got to look at the situation is when you do this, you bring in people that understand how to operate this stuff. And then your kids, your family, they'll start, these people will start having a stronger education towards this generation. I mean, the genie's out the bottle. Mississippi didn't create the AI. It started happening for every country. And to say that, to see, Mississippi having that chance to be a part of it. And it's a race. It's who's, having that same company, Mississippi. I believe in my heart, Mississippi will, in the future, the way you're working hard, Scott, I see there's a chance that, growing up with a kid, it's like, I felt as a kid, Mississippi has always been a little behind on tech. Now there's a chance that we'll have some of the greatest minds coming out of the state. And it's to focus on the youth. And you told me that today. You do this for the better for Mississippi, Ocean Springs. You're not, Hank Zuber, you're not going in there and going, this is about me. You're going, no, I want to be able to impact the youth, the families coming up.
But Jordan, the key is, yes, without question, but you don't want to just look at the near term. And we have some similar issues in Ocean Springs in terms of development and growth in East Ocean Springs. You need to look at 25, 50, 75 years from now. I mean, and it's not about the present generation. It's not about, now. It's about the children, the grandchildren, and the future of Ocean Springs and Mississippi. And if you don't grow the right way, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But another a case in point, for example, talking about the secret is out and the genie is out of the bottle. On February the 4th, we will have a roundtable discussion. The speaker will be involved. Google will be present. AWS, has confirmed.
Do you mind? AWS is Amazon Web Services.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe they have the cloud storage for the I was going to say the Department of Defense, but Department of War. AWS, Google, Apple, and maybe a gentleman by the name of Brock Pierce, who is
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks cryptocurrency. That man is involved in everything.
Yeah. I would highly suggest told me, I want you to speak of the Rolling Stones article, guys. How do they search that article?
Well, I'm having dinner with this man, and I didn't know anything about him. Never even heard of his name before, and so we're on the way to have dinner with him. And someone said, "Well, read the Rolling Stone article about Brock Pierce," and I did, and it blew me away. I mean, a cryptocurrency whale, as they call him, movie star. He was in the hockey film.
Oh yeah,
which one?
He was in. I think he was in all. Was he in all three of them? I believe.
But what was the name of the films?
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Emilio Estevez.
Mighty Ducks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a small gentleman by stature, but his memory was just incredible. His energy level. The guy doesn't sleep. I mean, just read the article. And hope he hasn't confirmed he's going to try to come, but hopefully he will be able to come and attend the roundtable discussion.
May I ask a question? So let's go back to when you started, because you're young. You're in here. You're in here.
I think so.
Yeah. When you were like all across the board, but like the first time you decided to serve for the state of Mississippi.
I think I'm still young.
Oh yeah, 100%. But but the situation that I was going to ask with this is. When did you start diving into, like, how long did it take you to really start diving into the outside of the box thinking? Like, this is.
I've always been that way.
Okay.
I've never been a linear thinking. I've always, it just comes natural. I've always thought outside the box. I mean, and if you think about it, if you're going to think 50, 75 years from now, you got to think outside of the box. I mean, you can't think linear and how is this going to affect tomorrow? I mean, you got to do things that are groundbreaking. You got to do things that maybe not be politically popular and may be very difficult, which I'm used to.
I can attest to that. As a lobbyist, I read the introductions on every single bill that comes through. Okay. Yeah. 30 minutes ago, I finished getting current for today. Okay. And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We'll have 3,000 bills on the list by the time we get done. But I can always count on Hank putting in term limits and a few other items like that he thinks are for good government, going to make us better in the long term.
Every other session.
Yeah.
Well, look, both of you attended my town hall meeting.
Yeah.
And
it's the only one that I get to go to each year because you're the only one that does it.
What do you mean I'm the only one that does it?
The only legislator I know that does the town hall meeting now. I mean, that's
no. Okay.
Credit to you.
Well, thank you. To me, it's just part of the job. I'm happy to do it. Sometimes I do them twice a year, but so y'all attended the town hall meeting and did I talk about campaign finance reform? Scott's heard this story before, but if not,
I say do it again because
okay,
go right back into it because this is very important, guy, and this is important, man.
This gets back to you just can't think or you just can't work on something for a year or 2 or 5 years. So in the beginning, and like I said, Scott's heard this before. I was at a town hall meeting, and I was taking some questions, and the young man stood up, and he had his son. He was holding his son by his hand, and I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Representative Zuber, I want you to help restore my confidence in government." And I said, "Help restore your confidence in government? What do you mean?" And he said, "You need to stop politicians from using their campaign money on personal expenses." And obviously my first response was, "What? You must be mistaken about something. That I don't think that's true. Are you sure about that?" And he said, "Yes." And I told him, I said, "Well, I'll look into it." And if that's the case, you have my solemn word and obligation that we'll try to change that, and that they can only use their campaign money for campaign expenses and expenses associated with the legislature while they're here in Jackson. And Jordan, I looked into it, and damn, I mean, I couldn't believe it. You could do it.
And it's not it's just not $100.
Huh?
It's not $100. No, I'm just saying
whatever you had. I mean,
so when you started seeing that, though, like, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but when you start seeing that, and this is for the listeners, this is, and then when you start seeing that, guys, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No,
well,
not really back. No, I don't think anyone had that much back then, and very few today. And now if you stay long enough, I mean, you can, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't that much with the majority of the members, but so
inflation happened.
So, anyways, I looked into it, and lo and behold, it was perfectly legal to spend your campaign money on a new car, just anything. And so, I kept my word, and I followed the bill. And everybody laughed at me that first year. Scott knows that. I mean, it didn't get any attention. I mean, the speaker never even mentioned anything about it. My colleagues would make a little smart-ass comment to me every now and then. Some of them still do, by the way.
I bet they do.
That hasn't stopped. But in the beginning, now, I mean, I had 10, I don't know, approximately 10 to 15 that were very upset with me back then. That's my money. How could you do it? But okay. So anyways, we gain more and more traction. The years go by, and just really cannot get, I'd make a little bit of progress each and every year, but just nowhere close to the point where it was going to come up.
Really doing right. Yeah.
Come up for a vote. And I never could get anybody in the Senate to file a companion bill. That just wasn't going to happen. So, I talked to Governor Barber, and he mentioned that he was going to help me. Governor Bryant, and just nothing ever got done. So this is why, a lot of people have issues with the press nowadays. And we do have some issues, but we will not have a democracy unless we have a free and independent press. A free and independent press is necessary for the watchdog and the oversight of government. I have complaints about the press, but we need the press. We need a free, independent, nonpartisan. Just tell me the truth. Tell me what happened, what, when, and where. Don't give me your opinion, but that is so necessary. And I relate that back to campaign finance reform, Jordan and Scott, because they were the ones that really started pushing it and helping me. And then it really got a lot of traction. And, we finally passed it 14 years later, getting back to my point about things take time. I mean, it actually took 14 years to pass it.
Did you used to go to bed sometimes at night going, did you ever get discouraged? Because it's 14 years. It's 14 years of you staying up at night.
I got discouraged because I did not understand. I mean, I guess I did why it never got any traction, but I just could not understand why nobody was supporting it. I mean, to me, it was the right thing to do. I mean, you look back on it, but my frame of mind was that young man with his son and him pleading to me to help restore his faith in government, man. I mean, he was losing faith because of this one issue. And I thought he was making a mistake. I didn't think he knew what he was talking about. And so I got discouraged, not that I was going to give up, but just how come nobody's helping?
Yeah. And at that time, with that push that came, other types of reform occurred as well. That was a prohibition on spending the money or how you had to spend it. In addition to that, we have significant campaign reporting laws now where you report every month all the money you get, all the contributions you get, and who it was from and that kind of stuff. And on the flip side, I now have to, if I buy you a cup of coffee, I have to put it on a list and report it at the middle of the session, at the end of the session, at the end of the year. where it was, what it was for, who it was to. And that's good.
That wasn't in place in the beginning.
No,
Really? I thought that was
no.
okay. I didn't know that. Well,
that was when Mike Moore was Attorney General.
Well, that was before me then.
Before you.
Oh yeah,
before
yeah, it
that
was way
time.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's been in place since I've been up here. But
But we
that
backed into it. They did baby steps on it too.
you got to do baby steps, and that
Right.
reminds me, the baby steps that we're taking now is to have every public official file their campaign finance report in one location, and make sure that it's on the internet and that it's easily accessible. It sounds like common sense.
That's
Searchable
searchable.
is the term.
you, you nailed it with common sense. I mean, it really.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when you told me this last year, we spoke to it a little bit, and seeing your passion of talking about this bill, and 14 years. That's 14 years. That's a long time.
Very long time.
And thank you for that. Thank you for that, because that shows, just like this podcast. And I always say, so when you say like AWS, I always try to go, hey, it's Amazon Web Services, because there's people that work at the gas stations. We work every job, to the top to the bottom. I'm grateful for the tune in on the shows, but this is stuff why we made a decision to do Capital Kitchen. And look, Scott was hitting on it a few times. Hank was hitting on it a few times. Hank is a friend, and I'm grateful for that. But that's something that y'all have to understand is, and also, like Hank said, I know people probably, there's some people that might reach out, but a lot of people, reach out, like Hank's saying. There's always the open invitation. You can reach out to me, Jordan Duron. You can reach out to Scott Levenway. You can reach out to Hank. But you got to have knowledge of what's going on.
And let me stress, for your listening audience or watching audience, I should say,
Or in the speakers of the card, going to Ingles.
yeah. Even if you disagree with me, contact me, and that has been numerous people recently. So even if you disagree, send me a text message. Call me. And I respond to the people who even disagree with me. Reasonable minds can differ. I mean, you may disagree with me. I may disagree with you. That's not going to stop the communication between us. I'm not going to get angry. I hope you don't get angry. And, because especially in politics and the number of votes we take, your enemies today are your friends tomorrow.
Yeah. I do have to make a comment, though. I'm kind of glad that Hank's term limits didn't pass. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been there 14 years to get this bill passed.
I don't know if I did.
Did
I
you?
file? I don't know if I filed. On term limits.
Yeah, you were pushing for term.
okay.
Well, you always were pushing for
Well,
term.
every other year for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But there are pros and cons on term limits, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because
No doubt.
it takes time to get things done. If you make the term too short, then you end up not having anybody that's there long enough to really acquire the knowledge that it takes to be a part of the system, and the trust that it takes from the members to trust you to be a leader, to do the things that you do.
There's pros and cons, and I mean, I can see both sides to this
me
day.
too.
I mean, even
Oh,
though
I
I've
know.
been in office, I can see both sides, and you can too.
Oh,
Okay.
sure I can.
But we are a little bit closer to the people than my political colleagues in Washington, D.C. Okay. So they don't get the same immediate response and influence from the people like I do. And especially my city official colleagues that came up today, they're even closer. And then in between us is the county. So I can even see it more so on a federal level than, the layers of government that are closer within the state, closer to the people.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like that was a situation where people have actually came up to me. I mean, really, I thought it was, at first I was like, well, you've made a comment about 4 or 5 people about everybody thinks we're in Washington. And
A lot of people think we're in Washington.
there's so many moving parts. And now we're not just saying the state of Mississippi. We're saying every state. There's so much I have to agree with the federal, because the federal level is what you see on TV more than anything.
Right. There's no interaction with the people. And, think about it, and this is what I hate about it. And I understand how it was set up and why, but DC is so far away. You really can't have personal contact with your federal officials unless you have the money to fly up there and spend the time. And it's expensive to stay in DC. So your hardworking citizen cannot go up there like they can Jackson. And it's hard to come to Jackson, but even more so with, locally and on the county, and spend time with us like my federal colleagues and fellow officials in DC. And, I don't know. I think they're a little bit too far away from the everyday influence and interaction with the citizens.
And for the listeners, I mean, there's on YouTube, there's Mississippi Legislator that you can go to, and you can watch the House and the Senate. When the Senate goes in at 10 a.m., the House goes in at 2 p.m.
But you have C-SPAN on the federal level. But Jordan, it's like I said, you can't. The average citizen can't go to DC like they can to Jackson, and even more so with in Pascagoula with the county seat and Ocean Springs with the city. So it's that is an issue. I think it's just once they get up there, it's just they don't. And we're in office, 3 months.
Have you ever been up there?
I have.
What's it like?
Well, it's been, I don't know, give or take maybe 8 years. And I was amazed at, now this was 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. Very expensive back then. And a lot of people did not speak English.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a similar concept that we have at the state capitol where, is it similar concept? I mean, you got the House over here, you got the Senate over here.
Oh, well, yeah, it's almost the state capitol is almost a replica, exact replica of the national capitol. You have the two chambers on opposite sides. You have the common ground, i.e. the rotunda. So that's obviously it's much smaller, but it's almost an exact replica of the national capitol. And again, I told you earlier that, anybody out there come up, I'll be happy to show you around. Come up to be involved in the process, but at a minimum, bring your children, bring your grandchildren, come up and see the state capitol. It's one of the most beautiful and ornate state capitals in the country. It's not as big as a lot of state capitals, but it is definitely just as beautiful.
Scott took his grandson there.
See, case in point.
Yeah, not too long ago on a Friday afternoon, he just was agog. He loved it. And we ran into the lieutenant governor's chief of staff who was sitting there, invited him into the office. He met the lieutenant governor, got to sit in his chair. He had quite the time.
Scott may know this. There's only a handful of people in the Capitol that know this, but I can't do it anymore. But I used to take my pages all the way to the top of the Capitol through all the way. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I bet
you can't.
I bet they didn't know it.
You can't do that anymore because they've blocked it off. But my pages have a lot of fun whenever they come up. So anyway. And that, if I may, we do have. Every member can have a page. So if you have
what is a page?
A page is someone who helps the House and the Senate. You've got to be at least 13. It's for 1 week. And you do get a nominal, the page gets a nominal paycheck. I don't know. It used to be 550. Is it 500 now? And, but you got to have your own place to stay. And I'll take them out to eat lunch or dinner once or twice during that week. And it's just fun. They get to meet other students and pagers their age. And it's great for a resume and great for. And
inspires them to maybe one day be at the Capitol.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I met one today. I was able to, when you brought me in there, he didn't have a card on him, so I'm already trying to learn names. There's so many names to learn, but he's a local down here and still in high school. And Hank walked in, was like, "Oh yeah, we got tech here." And we went, and we're doing a podcast. And it was when he was talking to me, he went back and forth, and he was so interested at such a young age. And like I said, that's what you want. You want a person to, and that's why let me go back to like the Mississippi Legislator, like the online YouTube. I'm saying listeners, like, go to YouTube, subscribe to Mississippi Legislation. You're more than welcome to subscribe to Jordan Duron at YouTube. You always have the right to do that. But if you're curious about what's going on in Mississippi, you need to not only just for the media we talked about. This is an independent media where this is just a show that we put together ourselves. Okay. But if you want to learn knowledge, you start paying attention to the state, and that way you can see, because they're in there. I mean, they're in there for hours. And patience is key. I'm learning that patience is key. And then I'll say this to you, Hank. I mean, Hank runs around, and I'm pretty sure he lives off. He brought some little snacks over. He probably runs off of granola bars, a water, and coffee.
A lot of coffee.
If you want to know something,
A lot of
coffee.
Here,
Yeah.
in this apartment.
And it's not coffee just in the mornings. It's coffee.
That's right.
A lot of coffee.
Look, I mean, wins and losses, okay? And I love the way you carry yourself. I love the way you carry yourself. And I want that is, look, not everything's perfect, but you gotta have a voice, and you gotta do it. I mean, it's such an amazing. It's like, I'll tell you what, you took me there. I was emotional about it because it's like, these are people with families. Everybody's got some. It's hard work. I mean, that's a real thing where it's like, I was so like, okay, well, watch. Just do me a favor. Start watching Mississippi Legislators and start paying attention, and also watch all. I think at this time now, most cities have they stream their stuff. I mean, or go to your town hall meetings. Hank has a town hall meeting in Ocean Springs once a year. Attend. And we had 70 people attend.
I can't remember how many. It was packed. It was full.
We should have it to a situation for me where we go to the Greyhound Stadium and have it there. Get out in your communities, go to town hall meetings, talk to your local government, talk to the people, and get involved. Don't get involved just because you see a TikTok or a video clip. You look at media, social media marketing, which, guys, I love marketing, but you need to watch the full video, not the clip, and the clips are fun, but there's a lot of clips out there. You're going to see clips of this podcast, but I hope that inspires you to watch the full show. But that's the same way, not with just a podcast. In anything, you got to watch any public official when they speak. You need to watch what they say, because the news can take one little clip and it can change the whole entire dynamic of what that person's fighting for. And look, and they take hate. They take it. And I'm pretty sure most of them are numb to it now. But just do me a favor. I mean, instead of watching, the reality TV shows of wives of what street, I don't know, but change it to sit with your families and watch this stuff. And guess what? The cool thing about it, what you're going to love about live streaming, you can go back and watch it again. You can watch 10 minutes at a time. Y'all agree with that? I mean, that's something that's should be very important.
I do.
I want Hank, because I know this is important for you. Let's dive into. You got about 10 more minutes, because you have a call coming on, and you need to kind of get prepped for that call. Let's dive in his last 10 minutes of things that you want to hit on at the show. This is your floor, so go.
Real quick before it does that, note he has another business call yet tonight. Okay, he's still working.
Yeah, well, I'll be working until I go to bed. But anyways, thank you again for having me. It's been an honor. I think it's something that's needed, and I look forward to you giving the behind the scenes picture to your audience about what it's really like to be here. It's great to be here. You can make a difference. The relationships that you establish are forever, and you'll never forget them. It's not as glamorous as what people think, again, but it is open. The process is completely open. Get involved. Like Jordan said, I think that's very important, and come up. But some of the things I'm working on that I have been charged with and have been working on since last session is to bring back financial stability and long-term viability to the state retirement system for our state retirees. We are presently, I think, 56% fully funded. The national average is in the high 60s. At a minimum, you should be about 82% fully funded. And similar to the Senate, we're going to come up with a very, very large amount. And I don't think the Senate got enough credit for this. I think they passed, I know they passed $500 million up front. And I think we'll do the same, plus or minus $500 million up front immediately this year into the retirement system. They passed $100 million per year for 10 years thereafter. Now, where I differ from the Senate, and again, that is a great start, but the annual appropriation is that's just what it is. It's a general appropriation. There is no dedicated stream of income, so it's left to the willy-nilly opinion and votes of each legislature for the next 10 years. So what with the speaker's leadership, what we are thinking about and what we're going to try to do is come up again with a dedicated stream or source of revenue. Now, where would that come from? That's what we're trying to decide. I mean, it could come from the excess amount that the lottery is producing. It could come up with, you've heard this before, mobile sports betting.
Mobile sports betting. Mobile sports betting.
Yeah, which I think needs to happen. And that's kind of, like I said, sometimes you disagree and you're still friends. Me and Scott disagree with that. And we're looking at some other possible sources. So it's extremely important. We talk about leadership. We talk about long term. We have kicked that can down the road too many times. And, it's not like it's not like an emergency. It's going to happen overnight. But let's not put that burden on future generations and future public officials. Let's take care of it now. It's going to take a lot of the money coming out of your pocket and taxpayers, but it's the right thing to do. It's a promise we made. And and like I said, we're close to coming up.
Let me on this, because this is my future mother-in-law. I'm impacted by this because my future mother-in-law was a school teacher for 30 years. She lives right in, and I know you listen to this right now, but she's 30 years and she depends on her retirement to take trips with her husband. And that impacts her. And she served in education for 30 years. And I imagine if Hank doesn't get behind this wheel, this is the pressure you're doing. I'm trying to explain to my listeners that this is impacting almost everybody in our families, especially if you're in Mississippi. I mean, if that well dries up, that will impact her for having the freedom of retirement. And this is very important to do that. And these are topics that are important. And Hank, you took that responsibility at town hall meeting and you took it. I'm going to figure it out.
And it's important. But the longer we wait, the bigger the problem is, I mean, that's, but anyways, we're going to solve that one way or the other. The second one is, PBM, pharmaceutical benefit manager reform, which relates to drug pricing. It gets back again. It gets back to retirement. I mean, if we give state employees, teachers, first responders a pay raise, but yet their insurance continues to go up, have you really accomplished anything? You've accomplished a lot in terms of their retirement, which helps tremendously in the future. But in terms of just on an annual basis, if their insurance goes up, I mean, that's a deduction. So we're trying to get, we're taking on, a very powerful group, PBMs. We're going to try to implement openness, transparency, sunshine. And we're going to try to help the independent pharmacists. And that has a lot to do with drug pricing, the state health plan. And it's extremely important. And it's something I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 years, but off and on for the last 8. Also, something that I talked with you about, and actually me and you are going to go to the state treasurer tomorrow, is, any type of bond issue that's issued by the state at whatever level, city, school district, county, state. I think the citizens of Mississippi should be able to have the first right, so to speak, to be able to purchase those bonds, because those bonds, once they're issued here and you're a Mississippi citizen, they're tax-free, not just on the state level, but on a federal level. You don't pay any federal income tax. So what happens is once these bonds are issued, you got to go to a third party. And the big institutional investors on Wall Street gobble them up. instead of giving me and you a chance to maybe go to the website on the state treasurer and purchasing some. So some states, the citizens of that state are able to purchase the bonds, and we're going to meet. That's actually what we're going to meet with the treasurer about, is how do we provide that opportunity to the citizens of Mississippi and not just the bigwigs on Wall Street. And then with Ocean Springs, again, growth is a big issue, especially in East Ocean Springs. It's going to happen. We got to make sure, very, very important, that we control and that the growth is planned. But we're going to be working on. You've seen the lights, the Christmas lights.
Oh yeah, dude. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, everybody's. But we're going to try to have some year-round seasonal lighting for downtown. The same.
Great idea.
And it's a great idea, and it's not going to cost that much. And the same thing for the bridge, which would be very impactful.
Hank's trying to turn us into a Hallmark movie.
The lights are sponsored anyhow.
Right.
So if you continue that, I think people are on a waiting list to be able to do it. So I don't think that the funding would be that big of an issue.
I agree with you. Sidewalks. I'm going to help the city with funding some additional sidewalks, construction of new sidewalks, repairing old sidewalks. Recreation, as you know, is very big in Ocean Springs. Hopefully we can, the state, the taxpayer can assist with upgrading our recreational facilities and ballparks. And then probably most important is, without question, we have got to get a mitigation plan passed this year. We must pass mitigation. And what that will do is reduce insurance premiums on homes. I'm responsible for it not being passed. I take the blame. This is the year we need to do it. Call the commissioner of insurance, call your representative, call your senator, and tell them that you want mitigation passed, because we're paying so much more than our fellow citizens in Alabama and Louisiana because they have mitigation and we don't. And
I own an insurance office. This is something that makes me sad. We're in the business of making money, but it's such a high market right now where you do the best you can for them, because the whole idea is long-term clients, and to have that conversation with them. This is very important, and I appreciate you going for this.
And real quick, before I leave, for your audience, if you don't know what the mitigation program is, let me just kind of give you a simple explanation. It's a grant program to the individual homeowners that will help them fortify their roofs and their windows. And, if you pass the inspection and you get the stamp, then you take it back to your insurance company, basically. And I've seen it. Your rates go down tremendously.
I did one last week. This is a new home build. So, older homes will always be different from a brand new home. But when you go into the fortified situation, I'm just taking this one home because if you buy a new home, this home's built 2025. It has a gold level certificate. If I didn't use that certificate, so the house was $1,843, and when I used that gold level certificate, I was ended up doing the closing at $1,132 for the year.
Gold star certificate for me cut my insurance premiums in half.
Yeah. So you're looking at the situation and you're like, well, no, we're talking sitting on a 2% premium. We're sitting wind in hell. This fortified has to happen, and this is something that you'll always have my support. I think, Scott, you'll speak on that.
Sure.
Before we end this off too, we have a couple of our comments in here. Ricky Audemon, I love you. He said good stuff. Okay.
Oh, tell Ricky I said hello.
Jamie Creel said, good dude. Seeing you today, my friend. And then we have Sarah Adlaka, that she was last episode of she is episode 123. Ricky just came on too, so Ricky's 122. I'd go back and watch their shows. This is something that you're going to be seeing. We're going to have fun. And you're going to see Hank more than once on the show during session, because he is full of knowledge, and he's pulling me out of my comfort zone with Scott. But Hank's, get up, let's go. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't looking forward to go to the Capitol today, but Hank and Scott are dragging me out there, And this is what I was speaking on. This is an uncomfortable situation because complacency is real. And I'm guilty of it at times, but I do like doing things that don't being uncomfortable. I thank you for that, Hank, and you will be on a good bit. I love having conversations with you. And I mean, Scott's my co-host, so we're good on that. He's going to be here with, but I appreciate every time, even to Manly Barton, he ain't here and I'm going to grab Manly Barton. But for the way that I told Manly, I said, you just got to bring it down a little bit, give me some more knowledge, and
he can do it.
yeah.
You can do it.
He can do it.
Kane, I love your father-in-law. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Hank Zuber. You really got to get that call. Guys, tune in, pay attention to your local politics. And if you like it, please leave comments, share, subscribe to our channel. We're just getting started. I mean, this podcast, nobody owns this podcast. Can we agree, boys? Can we agree?
Yeah, and come up and see us up. I mean, I keep saying that. Come up and see us up here. I mean, you're going to do this 2 or 3 times a week, 7 p.m.
We're getting, once we get it laid out, we'll go full throttle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Thank you.
And come up and watch it. You come up and watch the podcast.
And be on the outlook for my stepdad's a little cooking series, because this is called the Capital Kitchen. So be on the lookout for an egg salad video coming out. We're gonna be some cooking. Shot's gonna be making some cooking around. So we're gonna be breaking up some of this content. I love you guys. Thank you so much. To my Emily, thank you. I know I'm only on the coast. Probably going to be Fridays to Sunday. I mean, thank you for everything you do at the house. Let's all go ahead.
Thank you, and God bless the coast, and God bless the great state of Mississippi.
Always.